be still, yeah. That's a DJ question, but it should be. Yeah, I bet they did. Yeah, he did it.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. You're looking live at the Classic City Center here in Waterloo, Indiana. I'm Tanner White, and you're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. The home team, you're going to see them located on the right of your screen. That logo, it's the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. They're still fighting for their playoff lives. They're third in WMLIS's East Conference, and the top two teams from each conference will head to Las Vegas on the final weekend of March for finals weekend. The New Jersey Angels Football Club are currently the second seed in the East Conference, but they've already wrapped up their 10-match regular season with a 6-4 record. Chicago, that's the road side. Those Chicago Mustangs did their part yesterday to try to eliminate Fort Wayne in the front end of the back-to-back. That was played over in Chicago. They're trying their best to get New Jersey in. If Fort Wayne equals New Jersey in points, they will then lose out on the postseason due to the head-to-head tiebreaker Jersey holds over them. That was after a 7-6 win on Sunday, February 22nd, over in Kalamazoo in sort of the neutral site contest. On the other side, those Chicago Mustangs have a chance to rack up back-to-back undefeated regular seasons here in year 2 of the WMLIS. Still, they've never lost, and I mean, it's unbelievable that they are in a situation where they could be a little bit too comfortable and they could relax, and yet they've chose not to do so ever and continue to dominate. It was a 4-4 contest over 4 minutes into the fourth quarter yesterday in Chicago, and then the wheels fell off a little bit for the home side, and it ended up being a 10-5 final. But that's what we've come to expect of Chicago, and that's what they've done to everyone from the moment that this league kicked off 2 years ago. It's also a rematch of last year's inaugural WMLIS final, and only the third of 4 potential installments in the series this regular season. If necessary, another one will be coming. That is tentatively scheduled for next Saturday, March 21st, if necessary, at the Plex. Not certain if it's the Plex North or the Plex South in Fort Wayne, but we'll have to ask around on that before this game's over. We're scheduled for a 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time kickoff. We're a little bit over on that. So sorry, but doing our best to talk over to the DJ booth and get everybody rocking and rolling in this game as soon as possible. 5:01 p.m. here from Classic City Center in Waterloo, Indiana. While we've got you here, we can take a little bit of a moment to look at the league leaders around the entire WMLIS. We have a match that is just wrapping up over in the West Conference between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. That Salt Lake City club is going to finish their regular season undefeated. They've thrown down the gauntlet just the same way that Chicago has from the moment that they kind of got here to WMLIS and showed everybody who they were, especially on that Las Vegas weekend back on the 7th and 8th of February. From then on, it's kind of been clear where the top of the league lies, where everyone else's sort of measuring stick is going to be, as Utah and Chicago have been out front all the way, and they've already secured the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences. Again, we'll bring you league leaders in just a moment. The Chicago Mustangs will be in the red kits, and their goalkeeper, Joanna Mercado, wearing 0. Her kit is the neon orange. Then it's Carmen Swigard in goal in the pink for Fort Wayne, and the home side in their blacks with white numbers. I think our DJ is just about ready to go. We'll let him take over, and we'll have our lineup and anthem coming. So the task is in front of the home side. They've got to get at least 1 point in this match. Remember, you got the 3-2-1 point system. That's 3 for a regulation win, 2 for an overtime or shootout win, and 1 for the overtime or shootout loss. A single point will extend the WMLIS season. It will give us an additional match for the year. That's insane to a degree, but should the home side fail to do that, their season will be done, as there would be no way for them to catch New Jersey on the tiebreaker. We're just a little bit behind that scheduled start time. We've got 5:07 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Our officials in this contest on the field, Casey Gregory and James Lowe. Off the field, Cameron Schinkel and Oscar Wante. We await the whistle from the field. Our head coaches, Hope Castillo, leads her Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels side out. We're also told that she is available as a player and that she would enter in goal in a very much emergency situation, though Layla Mojtahedi is more so the reserve keeper. And Chicago sitting on their bench, their head man today, Alex Pavone. Once more, their starting goalkeeper, Joanna Mercado, and their reserve keeper, number 1, Honey Days Cruz. Cruz entered with short time in the match last night and then was eventually not the keeper of record. It was, in fact, Mercado. Again, we apologize on the delay. We got 5:08 p.m., and we are quite literally a handful of moments from getting this one started. It was worth the wait, we think, as we still should have a fascinating match in front of us. 4-4 with 11 minutes and change to play last night over in Chicago, and somehow Chicago just did what they do, and it became a 10-5 final score. Unreal the way that they turned it on. The home side got to flip the script on them. They got the first goal up for what it was worth. They scored real early on with Natalia Lima. Lima is the second leading scorer on this Fort Wayne side, behind Lena Thomas. And again, that's been our favorite connection, we think, in the WMLIS this season, is Lima and Lena. And we're going to hopefully hit on that at least once. One would just almost expect it at this point, considering those are your top 2 scorers for the home side. We got everybody in place. We speculate now that we can kick this game off. Well, we appreciate your patience, folks. Once more, we come to you live from the Classic City Center here in Waterloo, Indiana. We kick it off for the final asterisk match of Women's Major League Indoor Soccer's second season. Once more, your Chicago Mustangs, they're the roadside. Whistle and an almost immediate foul should be going on 17, Alexandra Rodas Nichols for Fort Wayne. Thought we saw the handball on Rodas Nichols. That is appearing to be the call. So, your starting lineups on each side. Here's your 5 field players for Fort Wayne. Rodas Nichols wearing 17. Should go by Allie as well. We'll use Allie primarily throughout this contest. Layla Mojtahedi wearing 21. Been primarily a defender. She's going to be back as a forward for this contest. Mojtahedi has still a tie for the all-time record for single game goals and points here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer with 6 and 7 respectively. Vivian Permanen, the Finland native, she'll wear 24 for Fort Wayne. Permanen has really given this club some big goals early on and has played just 3 matches but has scored 5 times in those, and every one of them has been big and affected contests. Lena Thomas, as we mentioned, that's your leading scorer for Fort Wayne, wearing 12 in the midfield, and Jennifer Reyes for their top defender, coming in second in WMLIS in blocked shots. Chicago, they trot this out. Stephanie Freund is the defending player of the year. Freund just had that last touch back for the keeper, Joanna Mercado. Freund wearing 16, and the other starting defender is 2, Ana Vasquez for Chicago. Kelly Flores, 25, and Stephanie Nunez, 17 in the midfield. Nunez, hard to miss, and she is the defending most valuable player here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. Rounding it out is their player coach, Shannon Walter. Again, we mentioned Alex Pavone is the man on the bench for them, but Walter also one of these player coaches. You see it all across the WMLIS especially, but throughout all three of our leagues really, including our exhibition program launching this season, MLISX, is that coaches are owners and players are coaches. Shot by Swigard. It's saved by the keeper, Mercado. Mercado tosses this a little bit short, and it gives a little bit of opportunity for Fort Wayne's press. 7, Jennifer Lopez, good handles, and she gets this clear to Kelly Collins. Headed in the right direction by Lena Thomas for the home side. Thomas down into the right corner, played for 24 permanent, and then nobody there near the goal as Mercado scoops it up. Valerie Battisti wearing 15 in the red for Chicago. Can always identify her by the big old top knot / messy bun type of deal. Battisti, we're told, was kind of an earlier, or a later addition rather, to this travel roster, as Chicago, after last night's contest ended, had to figure out, well, okay, how many can we reasonably get over there to Fort Wayne? And we know it's a long trip, and we know that there's not going to be a lot of sleep involved, and there's a bunch of travel. Swigard, off the header. Thomas can still put it in. She's checked by the keeper. And the keeper, Mercado, without fouling, is able to stop that chance. That's fantastic. No score. We're under 12 minutes to play. Scoreless between your Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels and these Chicago Mustangs, defending champions of the inaugural season. Carmen Swigard, your all-time leader in saves in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on that Fort Wayne side in goal, has a chance, though she would need a big number today, to lead the league again in saves. Or rather, to lead the league for the first time, but she is still the all-time leader. Right now, that lead goes to Saleha Ty Baker, the starting keeper for Kalamazoo's Zoo City FC. Baker registering 139 total saves. Swigard currently sits third in WMLIS, but needs just 3 saves to equal Las Vegas's Cassandra Tolton over in the West. And would need 27 total saves today, though that's not an unheard of number. Here's her first one, saved off of Stephanie Freund. So, start the counter. We mentioned that 27 number because Swigard was the starting keeper and the keeper of record for Fort Wayne in the inaugural championship match last season, saved 27 of 35 shots against in that contest, gave her team every single chance to win. Shot saved here against Shannon Walter. Now, again, you're going to just keep racking them up at every time. Every time that Swigard touches the ball, you're going to say, okay, so how many saves has she got now? Whistle here. Let's see. We believe they've got Natalia Lima on the foul. Lima has seen herself mostly in the starting lineup. Again, it's the same 13 that Fort Wayne employed yesterday in Chicago. It's just rounded out a little bit differently, and their lines look a little bit different today. Vivian Permanen an insert into the starting lineup. And again, Layla Mojtahedi has been really a standout defender. Also saw a little bit of time in goal as Carmen Swigard last night received a blue card for a goalkeeper handling outside of their area. That was 5:29 of the fourth quarter. Mojtahedi would come on as the reserve keeper. Here's Ariana Stoltzfus for Fort Wayne. Stoltzfus, kind of a solo run, looking for support. Lima, shot knocked down by Mercado. Shannon Walter collects it. Walter and Stephanie Nunez probably have some real friendly competition because it always seems that they're vying against just each other for the league lead in assists. And on the all-time list of assists, too, for what it's worth. It's a tremendously good thing to kind of go back and forth on. Walter and Nunez, 10 assists apiece. Now both tied for second in the league. Summer shot just wide. 7, Eliana Summer missing across the goal mouth. 8, Kim Ortega, identifiable by the blue headband. Natalia Lima coming to put on a little bit of pressure. So, if you had already tacked on the early goal for Fort Wayne, then this game would look almost exactly like what we saw last night. Fort Wayne would score with Lima at 13:09 or so, the first quarter in that one. Laid up a little bit far for Jennifer Lopez. Lopez is pinned there by Brenna Boer, 99 for Fort Wayne. Battisti over the head of Swigard. She got a little piece. Chipped by Kelly Collins off a wall. Watch Val Battisti. Lopez is checking Ortega, and Swigard will flop on it. Ortega says, hey, I need a change here. Coming right on, and the ball immediately finding her is Vivian Permanen. Permanen puts this over the boards and right into our off-field officials. We thank you very much for your service, gentlemen. Once more, those off-field officials are Oscar Wante and Cameron Schenkel. Permanen tapped this right into the face of Swigard again. It has been two very, very scary moments for Carmen Swigard in two back-to-back matches. The one here against Kalamazoo just 1 week ago, they were able to hold on, but Swigard came out in the first quarter of that one with an ankle injury. She would make a return late in that one when Kalamazoo really started to make a run late in the fourth quarter. Swigard kind of discussed with Hope Castillo, the head coach, and said, yeah, I think it's time for me to go back in. And the reserve keeper from that contest, Alicia Burns, did put up an absolute day with 25 saves, but Swigard at the end was called on to try and close it out and did so. 7 minutes, 43 seconds here of the first quarter. This is our very first media timeout at the under 8 as they take the timeout on the field. We will take the timeout over here and be back in just a few here with Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. And here we are out of the very first media timeout of the ball game. 7 minutes, 43 seconds to play still for the first quarter. No score. Fort Wayne's own Summit City Sentinels still fighting for their playoff lives, trying to extend this season by a whole nother match. That's the kind of power that they hold in their hands. If they're able to get just a single point in this one, that is by the moment that you would get to overtime if it should be that way, or of course the regulation win, then that's no more talk. Then we've got to play another match. The shot was saved. Swigard on Walter. Got 4 saves for Swigard in the early going, we believe. Still working with our statistician, and we can't thank him enough, Jay Weisman. Here's an interception here for Alyssa Weisman, and her stuff is blocked. To put it nicely, Weisman chips too high up into the net. Once more, any ball that makes contact with the net above the level of the boards, that's going to be cause for the restart. So Fort Wayne gives up possession there in the attacking end. Mercado's distribution. She bowls it out, and then the ball comes right back to her. And they will look to do it again to go back to the keeper, but haven't found their plan to clear yet. Kelly Flores, 25 for Chicago, is looking to poke it away. Goes to the reigning MVP. Flores gets it back from Nunez. Nunez now looking to make herself an option. Nunez so dangerous with either foot. Shot! Scored! Through the full guard of Swigard, Stephanie Nunez is inevitable. Nunez throws up just one more celly. She's got a whole bunch of them. And take a look at that strike. Flores to Nunez. Golazo with the capital G. 1-0, Chicago. Clock shows 6 minutes and 31 seconds. First quarter, Stephanie Nunez puts the Mustangs on the board first. Where have we heard that one before? Nunez has been a little bit frustrated with her own lack of just pure goal scoring output. But again, we mentioned that coming in, she was tied for second in the league in assists. Sitting at the top right now is Salt Lake City's Mackenzie Evans Tostado. Evans Tostado right now is kind of in that triple crown where you've got the 20 goals scored to lead the league, as well as the 12 assists. And so, of course, that means she leads in total points as well with 32. Huge, huge number. You do find, like you might imagine, a whole bunch of Chicago Mustangs featured along that list. Shannon Walter with 21 total points. That is third in WMLIS. And Kelly Collins, her teammate, right behind her with 19 total points. Collins also third in the league in goals scored with 15. And Collins did drop a hat trick last night upon Fort Wayne. Unceremoniously, we might add. Nunez from Flores, 6:31, first quarter. That's your one score. Joanna Mercado, the Chicago keeper, operating now with the lead. An interception turned around by Ali Rodas Nichols. Rodas Nichols, one of the more experienced players on this lineup. She's 32 years of age, a Chicago, Illinois native, funny enough, but now calls Fort Wayne-ish area home with her husband, Conrad. And she also wants to shout out her family that's traveled to so much to see her and to support her. Around the boards, Collins saves Swigard. The other scare that we mentioned injury-wise, we wanted to get back to this with Carmen Swigard, was yesterday at about 35 seconds to play in the second quarter. Took a shot, we believe, directly off of the face and was on the turf for quite a while. And so it was, like we mentioned, back-to-back matches just getting whacked and being kind of everybody's focus. And oh my goodness. Watch Mojtahedi, lefty. Maybe a rebound out for Ortega. Mojtahedi's turn. Wide. Still no dice. A long attacking possession. See if Mojtahedi can get on her horse and make Chicago turn this away. The keeper Mercado to Kelly Collins. Collins has typically been wearing 7, but with this red Chicago kit, they've got some new numbers. Mojtahedi right into the chest for Mercado. Stoltzfus is whacked. She's just got the simultaneous contact there with Kelly Collins, and Collins completely wins that contact and just comes up unfazed. The records for these two clubs, Chicago undefeated 8-0. Everybody throughout the East Conference has at least one forfeit, courtesy of Albuquerque's own New Mexico Lightning. The header off of Ortega, just a little bit wide of Mercado. But factoring in all of those forfeits, it's become a mostly even field, except for New Jersey, who has benefited most. Ooh, we've got too many players whistled. A blue card should be coming. Our official, Casey Gregory, is going to throw his card here, go and explain that Chicago is going a player down. Too many players, home side, power play. A player coming off. Let's see if we can see who's going to serve this. It's going to be 6 Sang-Jun Hornewer for Chicago. Once more, they're caught, and it's one of those where if they try and gain any kind of advantage, or the referee deems that they're trying to gain any kind of advantage by bringing that player on quite that early and that rapidly, that the referee will have his discretion to whistle this. Fort Wayne power play, scored! It's got to be the quickest power play goal in the history of Women's Major League Indoor Soccer for Eliana Summer. 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Oh, we could watch it all day long. Different match already. Summer's equalizer just woke this whole place up on a Sunday. Summer had been a starting defender all last season, then moved around last night, and we were surprised to find her in the lineup as a midfielder. and created a whole bunch of chances and did a lot of good stuff. And the attack was very solid, more so than it typically has been against Chicago, as this ball is going to be deflected all the way over to the bench area. Yours truly making the play. I always tell people I'm going to make a play on that, and no one believes me. Even our camera crew here, our one-man camera crew, Paul Johnson, he never believed me. But finally got to make the play on what could be the last match of the regular season. Swigard knocked this down in the area of Ortega off of the wall. No Fort Wayne follows. Once more, the power play goal scored at 2 minutes and 56 seconds. The run coming back from Flores for Chicago. Flores around the wall, skips it right into Swigard. Permanen in possession now. Watch Permanen maybe to take a turn. Now passes out to her right for Weisman. Weisman and save Mercado. We've got 2 minutes to play here for the first quarter. 2 minutes exactly. 1-1. The interception by Lena Thomas. This is going to make it really tough on the keeper. Mercado shot blocked. Thomas right into Stephanie Freund. Thomas gets it back and sends it high. You can kiss it goodbye. Let's see who's going to take the corner kick. Minute and 48 seconds of the quarter. Summer scored on the last one. Now she'll bring it in this time. Permanen couldn't stuff it in at first. Summer right off of the back of Stephanie Nunez. Nunez got the goal to open the scoring at 6:31 of the quarter. And the equalizer was Eliana Summer. Nunez save from Swigard. She's picked up exactly where she's left off. And what do we got to tell you more about Carmen Swigard in goal? The all-time leader in saves here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, and will have a chance to become again the leader for this season. Should she make at least, we believe it's 27 would be the number. And it's a number that she knows quite well. That 27 saves would match the career high that she put together against the Chicago side in the inaugural WMLIS final last season over in Cleveland. This year, it's bigger, it's downright cooler, and it's in Las Vegas. It's 2 weekends from now. Starting on the 28th, we'll have our semifinals. Rodas Nichols, too high. Clock reads 47.1 seconds. Moj Tahiti coming back on for Fort Wayne. Kelly Collins with the blow-by of Rodas Nichols. Collins, will she shoot with her left? No, gives it off. Back touch here for Valerie Battisti. One of Battisti's signatures that you'll always be able to recognize her by, besides the hair, is going to be the KT tape on one knee. Off a wall. Reyes gets her head on it. Still not quite cleared out. Not enough room for comfort. Collins touch heads backward. They haven't quite gone back to the keeper Mercado yet, but she lurks, ready to receive it, should it be necessary. Collins pulled it, not quite. That's really close to the top of the wall, and it will still bring us to the end of the first quarter. Entertaining 1-1. Again, it feels a lot like this last match, folks, just last night, and we're getting treated again. Stephanie Nunez, your reigning MVP, scores first, and then Summer answers on the power play goal at 2:56. We will step out and be back for quarter number 2 in just a few. Tanner White here with Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. You have to take a look at sort of the very top of the heads of some crucial members of these Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. Probably still number one being your defending goalkeeper of the year here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, Carmen Swigard in that pink kit. Our apologies at shortly before kickoff, we announced that as we had seen him yesterday, we were expecting for Joanna Mercado, the Chicago keeper, an neon orange kit. Now she's got just sort of a light blue with the black sweatpants that have still got the Chicago logo on them. So our apologies to Joanna, but she's wearing the 0, Swigard's wearing the 1, and it is a great goalkeeper matchup so far. Shannon Walter, player and coach, and the eldest stateswoman in terms of especially experience on this side, will kick it off for quarter number 2. Sent all the way down for the keeper, Swigard, and she collects it. Her own goal kick to get it out of there, sending it down with a really long run from Moj Tahiti. Moj Tahiti against the defending defensive player of the year, Stephanie Freund, and it's intercepted from Stoltzfus, and she creates attacking possession. Eliana Summer has your Fort Wayne score from Kim Ortega. We thought it was, and then we were able to ask around at the officials, and they said, yeah, that's who we've got on these assists. We've got Ortega to Summer at 2:56 of the first quarter. Playing here from the Classic City Center here in Waterloo, Indiana. Tanner White, so glad to be with you once more here on MLIS Pro TV. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, and you just might be watching the most influential match of Fort Wayne's own season. Now, they've had some other good ones. They've had some other great ones even in this building. I think the 9-6 contest 1 week ago with Kalamazoo is maybe the most exciting. It's tough to say because you've also played a couple of other one-score games, including a loss with New Jersey, as well as a win with Kalamazoo. This is tapped for the keeper, Swigard, and saved. Those are going to start piling up real quick, folks. And then we'll start having to do some math. Ortega, little push perhaps for Freund. Freund was just trotting and knew she was going to dump it back to the keeper, Mercado. You could say, well, Mercado is undefeated in goal as the starting keeper for Chicago, but as is everyone else, all time. Last season, it was Elizabeth Sampras. And then last night, well, Elizabeth Sampras, now Rubino, was able to join yours truly on the broadcast over there in Chicago. Can't thank her enough for her work. Talk about versatility. Also goes and warms up the goalkeepers at warm-ups and runs around helping out with raffles and things, and everybody's still fundraising to help this Chicago side get all the way to Las Vegas, as they know that they're going, but the struggles of getting there are real and they're true concerns. Swigard just lets this roll to her right towards the edge of her keeper's area, sets it down, gives it a long boot. Watch Permanent on the interception. Permanent, nothing but space. She scores! Every time Permanent touches the ball, she's just making something huge happen. Batisti's going to be kicking herself, but you can't think that way. You know that you've got a talented keeper, Mercado, who can kind of keep it this score the rest of the way, and you got a whole ton of attackers that can always just get you big numbers. We'll see if eventually they want to award the keeper, Swigard, with an assist for that. It's going to be close. Vivian Permanen. Every single goal she has scored with this team, now 6 of them through 4 matches, have been highly influential in the final outcomes. That makes Permanen this club's 3rd leading scorer. Again, they're led by Lena Thomas with 10 and Natalia Lima with 9. Mercado, the keeper, nothing she could do as she stared down that true 2v1. Permanen up for Lena Thomas. There's some room here. Whistle, foul, looks like off of the ball. Let's see who they got for Chicago. Ana Vasquez, maybe? Vasquez is 2. She's all the way back now. The closest defender to the keeper. But I think it may have been her as she fouled Reyes. Waiting on the restart in a moment. The foul count should always be in the back of one's mind. Remember, 6 fouls within 1 half would create a penalty shootout. It's a free run up Everybody lines up at midfield except for the shooter. Lima is whacked. Lena Thomas, her shot is blocked. Thomas chippy, not quite. Permanent. Permanent will go back all the way to Nichols. And now the keeper Swigard a little bit out of position. Nunez lined it up, puts it on target, save. Nunez never really got a chance to line up her best shot, and that's kind of been part of her frustrations of the whole season. As she's intimated to us, and she's dealt with a foot issue, she didn't make the trip last Saturday, the 7th, to go to Kalamazoo, although that Chicago side would still take care of business, as they expect themselves to do. Flores scores, and we're back to equal. From Shannon Walter. Have we said that one before? That's 11 total assists on the season, as Walter will now move all by her lonesome into second place in assists for the season. Flores from Walter, 2-all. Heavyweight fight. We know what the structure is going to look like of Las Vegas. We don't know exactly which matches are going to be played when. That is, we know that the first seed in the East will play the second seed in the West and vice versa. Great on-ball defense from Nichols as she takes it away. Thomas lays it up, long run for Stoltzfus, and the keeper Mercado was up to the challenge. Cut the run off. Kelly Collins back down the other way. Couple great handles. Watch Collins' left, and it's off of Nichols once more. She's jumping off the tape early on, is Allie Rodas Nichols. The 32-year-old Chicago native says her favorite college memory, this has got to be incredibly unique, and we're certain that makes her the only one on this team. She says, playing in Morocco with her college teammates. Shot saved from Swigard. The numbers are getting absurd right now. The eldest stateswoman available on this pitch today for Fort Wayne is Alyssa Weisman at 37, Rodas Nichols at 32. It's a team that's got a ton of experience. Swigard, the keeper in goal, is kind of one of the young guns, as it were, 24 years of age, a South Lyon, Michigan native, now calls Fort Wayne home. Flores just trying to lay one in and see what happens. Swigard will scoop it with both hands. Taking no chances, you just can't. She's played too much against the Chicago side, and she just knows better. Stephanie Nunez has a lot to do with that, typically. Chicago's one line up here. Vasquez, Freund, the goon squad, as it were. Nunez, Walter. Here is Vasquez pressured once more by Stoltzfus. It's a little bit of contact. Stoltzfus is looking for a whistle, as is Lena Thomas. So Fort Wayne's maybe a little bit undermanned. Oh, no. And you see Vasquez go down, hit the deck, and she's going to need help. Moj Tahiti off for Lena Thomas. Thomas back for Moj Tahiti. Would have been open. Pass just not quite on target at first. Now the shot's blocked. We're hoping Vasquez is okay. She is back into the play. Shot by Boert just a little bit wide. It's funny, she's still able to collect this and maintain the possession. That is not bad from Brenna Boert. Nicely done. Boert, a Warsaw, Indiana native, 23 years of age. Has a lot of experience playing around here in the Fort Wayne area. Played for Fort Wayne United for 5 years and also played with the FC Pride for 3 more of them. Boert's another one where her minutes have been very impactful. And they've just been felt all throughout. The numbers on Joanna Mercado, the keeper for Chicago coming into this one, in her 5 starts, the 4-0 record. Like we said, everyone who's ever played in goal for Chicago has an undefeated record. But among those is Mercado, with just 16 total goals allowed in 263 minutes and change. And that's coming into this one with a goals against average of 365. Restart comes, as this was last touched by Fort Wayne in the attacking end. The leaders on the season have been pretty stagnant at the top. It's been Jasmine Espinosa for Salt Lake City. Let's call that what it is. Espinosa's minuscule goals against average sits at 1.47. That's per 60 minutes. It's a ridiculous number, and we are also told that there was a shutout in the match in front of us today. It recently wrapped up when this one had kicked off, but a 15-0 drubbing Salt Lake City over Las Vegas. We make history every single weekend, every single Saturday or Sunday, whether it be whichever one it be, but that's unbelievable. Another team shutout. Mackenzie Evans Tostado with a hat trick, as well as Hannah Bruce, one of her own for Salt Lake City. Shot for Hornewer, save Swigard. Here's the thing, you don't get the individual shutout recorded for a keeper that only plays a partial contest. Swigard making another stuff there on Collins, and wow. Putting on one of her absolute clinics, as Swigard can do when she just enters that spidey sense kind of realm. Hornewer's run, saved once more from Swigard. So the keepers in that Salt Lake City and Vegas match went like this. 30 minutes of Espinosa, where she saved 8 out of 8. Ortega's shot is saved by Mercado. And then 30 more minutes of Anastasia Estrada with, of course, 30 minutes of shutout play and 4 more saves, as Las Vegas is blanked for the 3rd time on the season. Battisti around the boards. Rodas Nichols. This looks like it will be intercepted here eventually from 3 America Navarro. Navarro recently scored her first goal with Chicago, and it brought the house down. That was a match on February the 28th versus Kalamazoo. When Navarro put that in, the room just exploded. Everybody felt the significance of it. You know, your defenders, yes, you get a chance to take shots time to time, but Navarro put an absolute strike on from distance, beyond the box, beyond the arc, and just sent the crowd into a frenzy in that Kalamazoo match. Shot just wide, it's in the corner and scored! Flores with a golden strike, and we thought that's got to go way wide, but it's a go-ahead goal. 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and that'll take us to the media timeout here for quarter number 2, and we'll be back. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. And let's welcome everybody back out of the second media timeout. We've still got 5 minutes and 45 seconds to play here for quarter number 2. Chicago did just put themselves up, as it's just back in the fourth and the fourth and the backs, and everybody trades goals in this one. Something makes us think that we're in for a lot more of that. We haven't seen the scoring runs that when Chicago gets on, they're sort of impossible to break those. Haven't seen those yet for this match. You don't want to jinx it. And, of course, we got way too much game left. Shame on us if that does turn around, but it's always a risk that you run with the Chicago club, and they just do that to you. They shock you from time to time. The goal is Flores unassisted at 5:45 for right now. Again, it remains unofficial until we go through and we finalize this one. Flores has back-to-back scores now for Chicago. The first one from Shannon Walter, the second one unassisted. Fort Wayne's 2 scores. Eliana Summer from Kim Ortega on that power play. 4 seconds in, we're still going to have to look and see, is that the quickest power play score of all time? And then permanent from the keeper, Carmen Swigard. Swigard is awarded the assist right now. It's a little wide of her. Watch for Walter and there's no lurking options. You just expected somebody from Chicago to be able to find that ball as it headed out wide toward the wings. That's what they do. Sometimes you can be lulled to sleep, and then boom, there they are, and they've already struck and they've already celebrated and are putting the ball back down and restarting by the time you kind of know what happened. Unbelievable team speed, in addition to physicality, in addition to chemistry, you name it. Lots of heavy press from the Fort Wayne side. They keep their keeper, Carmen Swigard, very much planted in her goal area because when you have so many players down in that opposite attacking end trying to force the turnover from the Chicago side, well, yeah, it could lead to some difficult drop back situations. And you still have to have Swigard's ankle in the back of mind. Really has shown zero signs at all. Even in the match last night, we thought in Chicago, yeah, there was kind of no signs at all of that prior injury, as it had kind of left her nearly unable to move around towards the end of that Kalamazoo game just 1 week ago. And so it was only 6 days from yesterday. But moving as well as ever, and has the tremendous and unenviable task of taking down the Chicago Mustangs, or at very minimum to force that final match. Got to get a point somewhere. It means you have to, at minimum, take this to overtime. 3 minutes, 22 seconds to play. Here for the first half. Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels, Chicago Mustangs. Fort Wayne, it bears repeating, but has never won in this rivalry as has anyone else. If there exists a formula for beating the Chicago Mustangs, we're learning what it is if they were to win today right in front of our eyes. Fort Wayne makes a change. Moj Tahiti comes on. Some fresh legs. What she's most comfortable doing, probably still attacking. Told us before this season started, did Layla Moj Tahiti, that she wanted to win the Golden Boot. She wanted to score the most goals and also wanted to take back her scoring record, make sure that, hey, I don't want to have anybody equalize this record. I just want to continue to break it and set it and own it forever. Also had a little bit of one other personal goal. She said she wants to make all WMLIS first team. Those all league votes are beginning to come in, or the nominations are anyway, and voting open from March 21st to 24th around the league for league owners. Summer calling out some signals. Navarro, great defense there on Permanent. And she slows this Fort Wayne run down. Ortega with the back touch. Went through the legs of Buert. We don't know if that's what the touch was meant to do or not, but it worked out. As Swigard, the keeper, is able to put it down in the attacking end deep. Moj Tahiti. Moj Tahiti is knocked down by Freund, and she's going to look back for a foul for a moment. It's not coming. Our official, Casey Gregory, says, now let's play on with that. And so Moj Tahiti is going to take a while to get back into the play. Finally, she is up on her feet. Layla also has a really good sense of humor about that match from last year where she set that single game goals and points record. She says, yeah, that's actually my favorite soccer memory, holding the league record for most scores scored in a game. The other thing that she noted, though, was making it to the final and having that great battle where they fell just the one goal short. Buert is also knocked down by Stephanie Freund. That's just the common denominator is clearly 16 in the red there, Freund. Once more, Buert is kind of whacked, and she laughs sheepishly as the change is coming. Buert is tapped out, and Jen Reyes comes on. I think Buert's saying, okay, I stumbled. I caught the turf monster. 1 minute to play. The keeper, Swigard, can use the feet like an attacker. We've seen her put a couple of shots on targets. That's not bad. That's a good result. And this knocks Kelly Flores down. Ooh, we might have a little injury stoppage. And you wonder, did it just catch her in a bad spot? Was it off the back of her head and she's dizzy or what? Coach Alex Pavone is going to be the guy you see trotting out there in the black sweatpants and the red long sleeve. Huh. Back of her head, maybe side of her head. We're seeing her holding it as she's coming off. And I think Chicago's saying, hey, let's make a bunch of changes here while we've got the time. Let's get these fresh legs, and let's make sure we've got exactly who we want out here, our finest defensive unit, with 43.3 seconds to play until halftime. Corner kick will be coming from Jennifer Reyes. Reyes in for permanent save. Follow. Lima puts it down. And sometimes when you're in traffic, you know that the accident's coming and there's nothing that you can do. And I think that's where the keeper Mercado was caught in. Says, oh boy, this isn't good. Natalia Lima's equalizer with just 43 seconds or so. Juicy. 3-3. So Lima will now equal Lena Thomas as the leading scorers on the season for Fort Wayne, both in the double digits now. Lima is cut off here by Battisti. Battisti's saying, we're not going to let this happen again. We are not allowing Natalia Lima to beat us. Lima has all that physical ability in the world to be one of the top scoring forwards in this league and is creeping up the list. Reyes just sending it, also looking for Lima, and that horn signals the end of the first half. Folks, what a first half it was. Anybody that's joined us for even a moment or for the entire time of this match so far, we cannot thank you enough. We've got 5:54 p.m. Apologies for the little bit later kickoff, about 10 minutes or so behind the time that we targeted for start, but nonetheless, we are here and we are playing an unbelievable match. Fort Wayne, with their playoff lives on the line, still fighting. Scoring summary goes like this. Stephanie Nunez got the first one. We might have said that one before. That's your defending MVP. Nunez from Kelly Flores. Then the Fort Wayne back-to-back scorers, Eliana Summer and Vivian Permanen. Ortega with the first assist. Carmen Swigard, the goalkeeper, with the second. And then Kelly Flores twice. But Flores, when she came off, created a little bit of a tough situation. You wonder where that ball hit her exactly. And it led to the equalizer, Natalia Lima from Vivian Permanen at 43 seconds, second quarter. That's all we got for half number one. There's 30 more minutes, perhaps in somebody's season. The home side knows they got to survive this one to force one final match in order to find themselves in Las Vegas. Let's take a break for halftime, and when we come back, 3-3 contest between the Chicago Mustangs and your Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. I'm Tanner White, and you're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. And we come back out of the halftime break. For some of us, it is the shortest 15 minutes of our lives. Those are likely the ladies in black out there with the purples. That's your home side, the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. On the red, it's the Chicago Mustangs. Undefeated all time here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. They're going to open this half with a foul almost immediately for America Navarro. Navarro is whistled for the very first foul of half number 2. Those foul counts reset. Remember, once you get 6 of them within a half, they create a shootout. So that's the very first one on that Chicago side. Opening nearly bicycle kick attempt from Vivian Permanen. She kept that ball in play for a moment, and then I think it last touched Nunez for Chicago. Let's see what we're going to do on possession and restart here. Or perhaps Nunez never got a piece because it looks like they are giving that ball back for Chicago. 3-3 coming out of the break. Once more, coming to you live from Classic City Center here in Waterloo, Indiana. Tanner White, so glad to be with you here on MLIS Pro TV as you watch what could be the final match of the regular season with Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. However, if this home side Fort Wayne should pick up even a single point by getting this at minimum to overtime, one more match will be necessary on the season to round out our 40-match regular season. It's 8 clubs times 10 regular season matches divided by 2 because 2 clubs, as we understand, play in a single match. Are you following, folks? It's been a long weekend. Once more, yours truly, yesterday evening in Chicago. Got to see the Mustangs with the 10-5 win. Swigard flopping on it. Chicago did what they do to close that game out. From 11 minutes and change in that contest, it was 4-4, and then essentially Fort Wayne looked up and blinked, and there was a 5-goal run, and it was 9-4, wrapped around the board, and no further harm yet. But be careful of reigning MVP Stephanie Nunez handling with the ball. Nunez looking to back her way in. She's rejected. That's fantastic from Jennifer Reyes. Leads to the run, Moj Tahiti, wall ball. And nobody currently able to clean it up on that Fort Wayne side. Moj Tahiti blocked. And as Shannon Walter collects this, she's looking around for quite a while and not going to push by any means. Didn't even consider taking that ball beyond half herself. That was one of the most patient plays you'll see from Walter, and that's what she can get with decades in the competitive soccer scene. Walter, 37 years of age, coming in. Carmen Swigard and Joanna Mercado have given us a fantastic goalkeepers matchup too. 17 shots to 12 in favor of Chicago so far. Just wide of that goal frame. The follow, bang! Hannah Larson puts it in, and the Mustangs will go up first for the second half. Larson, Collins. That first shot goes wide. You figure, man, that almost had to go in. And then Larson's goes skyscraper to get the opening score of that second quarter. 12:32. Pardon us, third quarter. Larson can be an unsung hero at times. That's her first goal here for the 2026 season for Chicago. Brenna Buert making a little bit of contact there with Larson. The keeper Mercado once again playing from the lead, but no leads on either side of more than a single goal. Buert will be hit with the defensive clearance here. We've seen very little of this throughout this match. In fact, this may be just the second one that we've seen. Unless that's not what they're going to rule, pardon us. Well, so when it does come up, when we do get that defensive clearance situation, we'll tell you all about it. But we'll not have it here. Apologies. Stephanie Freund, 16 for Chicago. Back touch for the keeper, Joanna Mercado. 4-3 Chicago. Under 12 minutes, third quarter. Shot on target and saved for Swigard. Mercado watching this bound to her. We should have at least 15 saves up on the board for Carmen Swigard. Remember, she needed at least 27 of them coming in to take over the lead in saves this season from Kalamazoo's Saleatai Baker. Baker averaging nearly 15 saves per game. In fact, over 15 saves per game as she played 9 full matches. Kalamazoo's already wrapped up their regular season, as has everybody else. These final 2 clubs might have one more meeting if Fort Wayne can, at minimum, we've said, pick up the 1 point. Nunez stuffed. And then Vasquez lets it loose, and we'll have the restart. Swigard and Rodas Nichols. They had kind of a humorous, you want to say, interaction, although humorous is kind of a strong word. Swigard very strongly told Nichols that, hey, you're starting the second half as they were lining up. Chicago signaling that, hey, they want a handball on Ortega. They don't get it. Weisman, solo run, save for Mercado. Stoltzfus, maybe another try. Has not shot yet. Stoltzfus will give this up to Stephanie Nunez. Nunez up for Freund. Freund's running mate is a wide open Walter. That pass came too late, and now it's intercepted by Stoltzfus. Ariana Stoltzfus is probably thinking, thank you very much for not pushing that. Stoltzfus, the 25-year-old Goshen native, played for Kalamazoo FC of the USLW. Now 2 Fort Wayne defenders run into each other, being Weisman and Stoltzfus, and then you got a foul called as well. We got 10 minutes and 7 seconds to play here. Everybody getting the guaranteed substitution time in. Wow, and Chicago went quick, and Fort Wayne probably wasn't exactly ready for it, but you had the full line changes. Suppose there's never a better time to get them. Mercado, the keeper, launched. Swigard could have called fair catch. Kind of had a really nice punt returner's look to it, too. With the hands together, making sure the ball doesn't squeeze through. Mercado on one little hop pulls it down in the face of Alyssa Weisman. As mentioned, she is the eldest stateswoman on that field for Fort Wayne, 37 years of age, the Fort Wayne native. Shot, Larson, saved for Swigard. And now we will finally have one of those defensive clearances. So we get to tell you all about it. Another little teaching point, folks. When the defensive team, whether it be a goalkeeper or any other defender, clears the ball within their own half and puts it out of play, you get an attacking free kick like that. Shannon Walter, not much danger on it that time. Walter has a ton of other set pieces in the bag. Walter, save for Swigard! And then Nunez hit with the handball too. Oh boy, folks. It's going to be one of those. Again, we don't see, or we don't foresee Chicago making that same kind of scoring run and really blitzing the same way last night, or the same way that they did last night, rather, in this one. Collins up for Nunez. Nunez's turn. Collins! Now, she flashed in front, but just enough to get some space for Kelly Flores, and then Flores shot too high. Flores has 2 of the Chicago scores, got hers back-to-back. Fort Wayne would get the equalizer 43 seconds before halftime. Natalia Lima from Vivian Permanen. And then Hannah Larson with her first score for 2026 put Chicago up in this one. Lena Thomas, wide open, Mercado. Oh, she somehow got the save. Now Permian bluffs. Permanen missed. Not a bad look at all. Swigard, the keeper, drifting out further. 8.5 to play, third quarter. 4-3 Chicago. Moj to Haiti. Lofted it into the corner. Picked up eventually by Permanent with the on-ball defense from the defending player of the year, defensive player of the year, that is, Stephanie Freund for Chicago. You saw Freund with some rare emotions last night when it became 4-4 in that match in Chicago. One-on-one, Walter and Swigard. Swigard sends it all the way down, and she somehow kept that below the level of the roof up here. That was fantastic. Reyes, little touch. Now going back for Summer, as Summer is challenged by Walter. Nunez comes up to press 2 on Reyes. Nunez saying, well, I don't want to pick up too many fouls here quickly, as that last handball went on her. 7.5 to play, so we should have the media timeout coming at the next stoppage. Thomas, too high. Gave it a look at 7:25 here in the third quarter. We're going to take the media timeout. Chicago's go-ahead goal. Hannah Larson, 12:32 of the quarter from Kaylee Kowal. And let's take the timeout. Everybody catch your breaths. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer here on MLIS Pro TV. Back out of the break with the task still just as clear as ever for the home side. Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. They did give up the first score of the second half from Hannah Larson. Just over 5 minutes of game time ago, we resume play here with Joanna Mercado distributing for Chicago. But the task has been as clear as ever, and it will stay that way until quadruple zeros. You got to get a point in this one. At minimum, you got to get to OT. Lima's got some space. Lima backing her way in, shoots, save Mercado. Lima puts it back! She scores and we're equal. What do we tell you every single week about the physical ability of Natalia Lima? Bigger, stronger, faster. Sometimes you got to be meaner too. That is Lima all herself. Equalizer 7:04, third quarter. Huge time for Natalia Lima to even this all the way back up, and it's just going to continue to get juicier as we go along. Nunez rejected there by Rodas Nichols. Puts it way high. Let's see who's going to get the ball. Was it last touch? They're going to say off of Rodas Nichols. That's what they're going to rule. The corner for Walter. Shannon Walter. Walter out for Flores, too high. As Flores is unable to put that on target, this will have to go all the way back to Joanna Mercado. Walter, one soft little touch. Stoltzfus trying to control. Cut off by Walter. Look at her using the body, and now Stoltzfus kind of throws her, and we were expecting to see the foul, and it's late. But eventually it came on Stoltzfus. I think that drew ire. You may have heard it even on the crowd mic on that Fort Wayne side. It's probably what you're hearing is they're saying, sure, call it, but don't call it late. Whistle, and we restart. Flores out for Walter. Walter wearing the captain's armband. This time it's gray with pink stripes. That's a new one. Typically you see, like neon yellow or green maybe. Nunez across the boards. Watch the blocked shot from Flores off of Lima. Chicago still in the attacking end to restart. It's crossed wide of Swigard, looking maybe in the area of Freund. Nunez picks it up, the on-ball defender Ortega. Stephanie Nunez, the all-time leader in goals, assists, and as you might imagine, because that's how the math works out, total points here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. Ortega gets a piece here for Fort Wayne. But Shannon Walter also filling up the stat sheet like almost nobody else across all the areas that you could possibly impact a game. Walter and Nunez do them all. Walter to Nunez. Oh, we almost spoke it into existence. Santa Maria. Lima nearly winning this possession all herself. She's going to be whistled. And she does immediately go over there and check on Flores. I think we're expecting an injury timeout. Fort Wayne's typical athletic trainer, Mason Lowenstein, not available for this one, we're told, as we don't see him along the bench area. So it becomes an opportunity for substitutions on both sides. That's kind of a silver lining, if you can call it that. We didn't see a card. We're almost certain, but I think our officials are going to go and talk about it a little bit regardless. Yeah, we've got no card, so it's just a common foul. Clock shows 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Third quarter, even at 4. Natalia Lima's unassisted, unbelievable score last time. Brought it here. Now Wiesman with the challenge on the keeper. Mercado just had a little bit of the size advantage on her. Wiesman cuts this off, gets the interception, out for Permanent. Permanent, shot, scored! That's one of the biggest go-ahead goals of the season. Don't look now. Wiesman for Permanent. And Fort Wayne knows what's on the line, folks. I think Swigard is saying, hey, we want a timeout. Swigard signaled for it, and the Fort Wayne bench calls it, and now I don't know if our officials are going to award it yet. Oh, and they didn't. Fort Wayne's going to have to wait for a moment and get another stoppage and then signal it again more aggressively, but we heard it pretty clearly from where we're standing. Now we just happen to be closer to that Fort Wayne bench side. Unfortunate. Again, it was the goalkeeper herself signaling to Coach Hope Castillo that, hey, we want that timeout. Lena Thomas off of the head of Battisti. Now Thomas is taken down and fouled. And still we're getting the timeout signaled but not awarded. Our referees, for what it's worth, are far away. Finally, the timeout's going to come. 5-4 Fort Wayne. Wow, that took a while, but we suppose it was worth the wait. As they take the timeout on the field, we will take the timeout over here from the booth. Back in a few. And now we come back out of the timeout. Fort Wayne's finest, the Summit City Sentinels, have taken the lead here against the all-time undefeated Chicago Mustangs. 4 minutes and 55 seconds still to play for the third quarter. Summer put this on target. Now, here's the thing. Mercado, she makes the save up top Cheddar. Very well done. But as that went out of bounds off of her, she still gives a pretty advantageous corner kick here to the Fort Wayne side. Thomas hits the deck, and she was pushed, you thought, by Nunez. The whistle does not come. Mojtahedi battling with Nunez, and Flores eventually comes out of the pack with it. Now, maybe a little bit of a push the other way from Jennifer Reyes, and, you know, if you're going to not call one way, then okay, continue to play on for both sides. And of all matches where you should let them play, this is probably one of the absolute biggest, where Fort Wayne has a chance to do something that nobody's ever done before in this league. That's take down the Chicago Mustangs. Permanent with huge pressure. Every goal that she makes, again, every touch is impactful. But Permanent with that go-ahead score, the biggest of the match so far. Reyes, great handles, gives Walter the shakes. Little bit too far up ahead of Mojtahedi, but Permanent can still pull this down. Permanent slicing it over for Reyes. That's a great pass. Reyes saved! On point to Mercado. Mercado's got a difficult job now, too. Again, has spent very, very little time this entire season ever playing from behind. And in fact, these might be the very, well, not quite the very first minutes, but just a handful for the entire season that she's played behind. Now she's way out of position. Oh, and Mojtahedi, if that pass came a little bit quicker to her, maybe could put that in on the empty net. Permanent 2 goals and an assist in this one. Lima with 2, one of them the insane solo run. Mercado once more is challenging outside of the keeper's area, and everybody is whistling for a handball, I believe, on Flores. She did come back in shortly after coming off with that last very brief injury stoppage. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to play here, third quarter. Thomas, turn, not quite. Thomas backing into Nunez. In for Mojtahedi. And Chicago's playing with fire. It's funny, we thought the Chicago Fire were playing yesterday, and that was the talk of the town, and that was part of the reason why the traffic coming home from Chicago was insane. Also, part of the reason was, of course, the holiday weekend and over in Chicago dyeing the river green and all those traditions. So this club, Fort Wayne, you know they didn't get a lot of sleep. You know on the Chicago side that they were able to sleep at home and then still, yeah, you made the long trip over here, and you will be heading back and get home real, real late this evening no matter the outcome. But kind of evens out most of the travel. Going to be brutal regardless. Lena Thomas, the interception. She's tossed there by Larson. Play on through it. Summer, a soft touch to the keeper, Swigard. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to play here, third quarter. Larson, tough tackle on Summer. Summer's down. Fort Wayne is going to be hard-pressed to stop this run, and they do. Wow, that's great defensive recovery speed. Between Lima, Stoltzfus, and Reyes, they never panicked. Coming up the wall, it slows up Natalia Lima just a little bit. Not too bad. Lima pinned up against the boards. Reyes comes to take it away and help her out. Shot saved, Mercado. The chippy, it's nearly on the goal line. And nobody for the Sentinels able to tap it home. Not yet. A 2-goal lead would feel like one of the biggest accomplishments this club's ever made. Because it's against these all-time undefeated Chicago Mustangs. 75 seconds to play, third quarter. Still, Fort Wayne does enjoy that 1-goal lead, but not by much. The header, Lima once more, too high. Natalia Lima got 2 more looks at that 2-goal lead. Nichols, shot, blocked. That is well done. Stepping in front for Chicago, Kaylee Kowal. Nichols once more, went around Kowal that time. Nichols, as one of this team's most important defenders, is also getting involved on the attack. Clock continues to wind. It hits 30 seconds. Fort Wayne leads still intact at 5-4. Go-ahead goal, Vivian Permanent. Permanent from Weisman, 5:18 of this quarter. and back-to-back scores, that's crucial too. Natalia Lima got the first one on that solo run where she followed her own miss. Under 10 seconds. Ortega, nobody home there unless Weisman could have taken that away from Valerie Battisti. Walter says, I think we'll hold on to this and take it all the way to quarter number 4. 5-4, and the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels have a chance to make some history and force one final match here for the 2026 season. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Fourth quarter coming up. Don't go anywhere. All right, folks. There might be one quarter left in the WMLIS season for 2026. There might be 5. We couldn't tell you. Technically, there could be even more than that. Fort Wayne, what they know right now is they hold the lead and they hold their destiny in their hands. They've got to get at least 1 point to extend this season, and that means at minimum getting to overtime, and they've known that. They've known that for a while. It hasn't been a secret. You get the 3-2-1 point system, right? 3 points for the regulation win, 2 points for the overtime or shootout win, 1 point for the overtime or shootout loss. That's what's in front of you right now. The Chicago Mustangs have never lost through nearly 2 full regular seasons. But Fort Wayne could shake that all up forever and make their own history. A 5-3 mark in the regular season so far for the Sentinels. Interception here. Stoltzfus got the running mate. Thomas crossed little behind her. Joanna Mercado, she's getting pressed. Weisman lurks. Good pass up to clear for Kaylee Kowal. Collins, this is off of Hannah Larson. Larson had the last go-ahead score, but it probably feels like a really long time ago for Chicago at 12:32 of that quarter. Collins high. And then softly to the keeper, Swigard. She's nearing that save lead. We told you she needed 27 saves coming in. If she can put together that career-high performance, that 27 number would equal the number that she made in last year's final. 27 of 35 saves last year and came up a single goal short of being the champion goalkeeper. Was voted the goalkeeper of the year, has a chance to be in the running, and will certainly be nominated for this season. But one more massive effort could send this season to an extra game. Trying to make you feel the weight of it, folks. There she challenges Flores, and defensive clearance is called. Once more, when you see the refs give that little false start type signal, the hands rolling over one another, that means that this ball goes to the top of the arc. The Mustangs have devastating set plays. That's not any kind of secret. Flores, Walter. Flores' shot is stuffed. You see any of the three be completely equally effective between Walter, Nunez, and Flores. They've drawn up so many different plays, and they've got tiny little wrinkles to all of them that just make them all equally deadly. Swigard watched this ball go up over her head. 13-11 to play here for regulation. Summer hits up ahead for Stoltzfus. Stoltzfus just a little wide. Thomas's follow. She could have doubled the lead for Fort Wayne. Mercado probably saying thank you very much for missing that by just a hair. The season high goal scoring output for either of these clubs is 9. Coincidentally, for both of them, or pardon us, it's 10, as Chicago just scored 10 last night. But coming in to last night, that was the case. So Fort Wayne's season high was 9-8. That was here just a week ago. That 9-8 win versus Kalamazoo. Swigard would get beat up in that one, exit for a great chunk of it with that ankle injury. And then when she called her own number and she had to have it in the fourth quarter, did surrender a free kick score to Jessica Kennedy, the owner of Zoo City FC, but held on for the 1-goal lead, so they're not strangers to this position. Nunez stuffed! And with a run with Nunez and Walter like that, you just almost concede that goal so often. Shot, snaked in and scored! It's another monster equalizer, and we're throwing haymakers. Trying to see if we had Vasquez. That's who we first saw. Apologies, we're trying to look around everybody and sift through that mass of bodies. We'll let you know as soon as it comes in. Our off-field officials, once more, will keep that for us. We appreciate them. Collins with another! Collins puts Chicago ahead in the blink of an eye. Collins from Battisti. And how the tables turn. Okay, so we're hearing Larson from Walter on the first, Battisti to Collins on the second, and a Fort Wayne timeout comes too. That all happens in the span of just over 15 seconds of game time, and Fort Wayne takes the timeout. This will not be the media, but we will take a break over here. 12:01, fourth quarter. If we're seeing it right, folks, you should have exactly 13 seconds between the two Chicago scores that just completely flipped this down 1 to up 1. Hannah Larson from Shannon Walter, then Kelly Collins from Valerie Battisti. 12:14 and 12:01 fourth quarter. But Fort Wayne's been here before. They know exactly what this is like. Keeper Swigard is going to be called on to make some more tremendous saves. Can't get out of her own head. Could see visibly a little bit of frustration. Facing just some impossible situations that Chicago can put any opposing goalkeeper in, no matter if it is the all-time leader in saves. Battisti wore that off the face. Lima looking to do it all herself once more. Lima, the press, misses here, can't take it away. The goalkeeper, Mercado, hoping she gets a moment to breathe, but that's unlikely. Shots are going to keep mounting on both sides. Right now, that discrepancy sits at 28-18 Chicago. And remember, that's just shots on goal. Flores has 2 out of those 6 Chicago scores. As does Hannah Larson, by the way. 2 first scores for the season, and they could, for what it's worth, help to put away this Sentinel side. Permanen getting a little arm bar. You wonder if somebody on either side was probably expecting a foul, or maybe both sides were. Funny how that works. Freund. Freund's pass. Ortega. Ortega with serious game face right now. Walter might be loose. Nunez, pass a little bit late. And chipped. Walter lines it back up. Vasquez. Came off the head, we think of Walter. A real soft touch off of her head, though. And now they'll continue to work it around in the attacking end, though. 10 minutes to play. Fort Wayne just took their first timeout the second half. 2 per half, for those of you who are wondering, on the timeout situation. And they do not roll over. Flores lets it loose. Looked to follow it, and Rodas Nichols was gonna have none of that. We had a really, really good jokester over in the crowd put his hands up and say, I got that. Now this should be a defensive clearance for Chicago. And again, that does not work in their favor. That means that you give up. No, pardon us. It is not. Thought we saw our official there, Casey Gregory, signal it at first, but we'll bring it into play normally. Lena Thomas. Thomas in for Weisman. Weisman scores! Weisman's left on the doorstep and ain't going to miss that one. Thomas for Weisman, and the plot thickens. 6-all. 9 minutes, 29 seconds, fourth quarter. And all Chicago wants to do is get this started as quickly as possible. They were lined up before Fort Wayne was, and they were saying, hey, let's blow this whistle and get it started here. Oh, Weisman on the press of Mercado. Imagine she takes that away all on her own. Joanna Mercado finally meeting, for one of the first times this season, true severe adversity. Weisman continues to force these pipes perhaps to burst. But Larson, as she takes it back, you've now got Chicago with the advantage. Collins turns it over for Kowal. Kowal whiffs at first. Kowal, Larson, somebody got a piece defensively. 8 minutes, 48 seconds to play for regulation. 6-6. Any overtime would give Fort Wayne a chance and would extend the 2026 Women's Major League Indoor Soccer season. A regulation loss is the only thing that will not. 8 minutes, 30 seconds to play. We still got to say in regulation. We got to continue to say that now. Collins. That ball's not going to find her, which is a good thing for Fort Wayne because the keeper Swigard was out of position at first. Thomas up for Moj Tahiti. Thomas been starting so many scoring chances. She is this club's leading scorer coming in, but Natalia Lima's got 2 now down. Thomas open, just missed. You've got to know that ball is going to find you. You've got to know that there's going to be another opportunity to shoot, maybe to go ahead or maybe to tie this game again for Lena Thomas. Can't get out of her head. Collins. Collins crosses for Larson. Swigard, she's on it. We'll have the media timeout coming at the next stoppage. 7 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Freund collects, and she's in no hurry. She's going to allow all the changes to come on. Stephanie Nunez, your all-time leading goal scorer here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. Always got to be a top target, and everybody defensively has got to know it on the other side. Chicago came in averaging 8.4 a game with a plus 42 goal differential. Nobody cares about your numbers. Nobody asks you what those stats are when you put in that stat sheet and, hey, we're kicking this off and playing. Nunez up for Flores. Flores, a couple of great moves. See who can get loose. Walter saved! Carmen Swigard is approaching that save lead on the season. And there's a chance that we just might have one more match for her to leap into that first place solidly and really start trying to put that all-time saves lead out of reach for anybody for a while. Joanna Mercado. Look at the little back heel touch from Nunez. Over for Kelly Flores. Flores has a wrist tape hanging loose. Shots blocked for Reyes. Another one goes too high. Flores still dangerous. Goes over to Walter. Just wide. Walter looking back post. 6 minutes and 15 seconds to play in regulation. Weisman from Lena Thomas at 9:29 was your last equalizer. Feels like we've had a whole bunch of them. That's because we have. And everybody's getting them in twos right now as well. 2 different times you've had 2 and then 2 scoring runs. .545 now to play. Kelly Collins surveying options. Swigard, the keeper, coming to challenge. Blocked on the goal line for Rodas Nichols. We thought that was going to result in the restart. That came real close to the net. Tough to say who had the touch and who would be given possession. We're not certain. Sangjun Hornewer collecting for Chicago. Hornewer always has a big strike in her when needed. Collins too high. And finally, we're going to take it to the media timeout. What may be the final one for the 2026 season here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer comes at 5 minutes and 19 seconds to play for the match. 6-all. Back out of the media timeout with 5 minutes and 19 seconds to play, folks. How much more do we have to tell you about everything that's on the line for this one? The Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels still need a single point in the standings to get this season one more match, to earn themselves one more chance at Las Vegas, to knock down, for what it's worth, the New Jersey Angels Football Club that's for a while been able to do this same math and thought, yeah, we've got a really good chance to get in if Chicago just kind of takes care of business and they help us to get in. Walter sent this way too high. 4 minutes and 59 seconds to play. Carmen Swigard to distribute. The Fort Wayne goalkeeper putting on another gargantuan effort. Try and hold her club in it. They've been playing with a couple of leads. They've had the equalizer every time they've needed it, has Fort Wayne. All comes down to this under 5 minutes. The last equalizer was Weisman from Thomas. Lima in a tough contest there with Vasquez. Vasquez eventually coming up with possession. I think our favorite matchup so far, it's got to be among the goalkeepers. Mercado saving 13 of 19 with maybe not the same level of difficulty, but still facing high volumes. And Swigard should be on 24 saves now. Huge number. Flores. Flores is contacted a little bit by Thomas. Thomas now really aggressively pressing. Lena Thomas has factored into many of the biggest goals in this one for Fort Wayne, though credited with just a single assist so far, and surprisingly enough, hasn't scored. Kelly Collins, turn, blocked! Right off of Jen Reyes. Collins with another try. She sent it high this time. Weisman going to chase Battisti. Battisti smartly, alertly using the wall. Kim Ortega gets a little chip. Weisman is still following this, and the keeper Mercado with a little contact then comes up and whirly gigs this down for Kaylee Kowal. Flores is in no hurry here. Chicago, here's the thing. They know that they're going to Vegas. They're probably starting to book the flights and the hotel rooms and everything. They've known that for a while now. They secured that officially against Kalamazoo back on February 28th. However, they're still fighting to be an all-time undefeated club, and that still means a lot to them. Kelly Collins once more, dangerous with either foot. Goes back heel, shot, Larson, save for Swigard. And as this is tossed down, it gets into Weisman in a good spot. Weisman's got support. Stoltz goes, Weisman! Go Lasso, go Lasso, goal! It's all the way from the keeper, Carmen Swigard, and it's another go-ahead score. That is one of the best passes you'll ever see a goalkeeper make. And we've got a timeout on the other side. Chicago calls it at 2 minutes and 37 seconds. This game is all on Carmen Swigard to win. We got to stay right here with you through the timeouts. Oh, Weisman gets the last two, both for the Sentinels. And Carmen Swigard with 2 assists, and she's coming dangerously close to that league lead in saves. And I don't know what more you could possibly ask for from a goalkeeper around this entire league, anywhere through any of these now 39 regular season matches. And it looks like we're in danger of having one more. Swigard's already your all-time leader in saves. How many times have we said that? And a chance to lead the league this year. Again, it's Saleha Ty Baker, the starting keeper for Kalamazoo's Zoo City FC, coming into today, who had probably a lead that she thought was insurmountable. Swigard was third to Las Vegas's Cassandra Tolton as well. Tolton in that second place spot with 116 saves. Swigard entering play with 113. And they just keep racking up like crazy, like mad. The 24-year-old South Lyon native now calls Fort Wayne home, and as does everybody around here, calls Classic City Center home, most importantly. Oh, this is fascinating. Chicago, when they break the huddle, they go with the 6th attacker. Valerie Battisti has donned the yellow penny. Chicago's pulled their goalkeeper, Joanna Mercado. It's crunch time now. Larson, equalizer! Unbelievable, 8 seconds later. And so they can go right back with the keeper. Larson off of that one single long ball, and the restart sees this game put 7-7, 2:29. What on earth has gotten into this match? Larson coming in, had not scored. Now she's got the hat trick. Stunning. Jaws are dropping. It's quiet. uncomfortably quiet. 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Nunez. Nunez with the wall ball. Watch Walter as Swigard's coming to attack this. Eventually that ball finds its way out for Flores, but it took a while again. If that was maybe a little bit quicker on the pass out there, could Flores perhaps have gone to her left where Swigard wasn't able to cover? A minute and 45 seconds. Still, overtime would be enough to give Fort Wayne one more chance on the season. Swigard sending this all the way down. We mentioned Mercado, the keeper, was likely to come back. That she did. 8 seconds between Chicago's pull of Joanna Mercado and getting the equalizer from Hannah Larson. Unreal. Nunez lines this up. Nunez hits the deck. Minute and 20 seconds. Walter defended tight by Summer. Swigard might be advantaged to wait a moment, and she does. Alertly, smartly. That's a veteran. That is a brilliant goalkeeper's play. Does send it all the way down. The pressure from Permanent. Pressure can burst these pipes. Should be off of Stoltzfus, though, and the restart will come in the defensive half of Chicago. Exactly a minute to play. 60 seconds to extend the season or for somebody to shut the door. Mercado gives it a ride. Walter wants to back her way in. Rodas Nichols just wants to send it down the other way, and maybe, just maybe Fort Wayne knows that, okay, survival might be our number one best chance here. Under 40 seconds. Walter, big mass of bodies. Swigard's just going to fall on it once more, continue to burn clock under 30 seconds. Swigard, one more huge heave-ho. Supporting Layla Mojtahedi. Mojtahedi, she's going to point at Flores, and Flores is going to point at her, and let's see who's going to get possession. It is given to Chicago. 18.3 for regulation. Vasquez, down for Walter. Walter going to have one, maybe two shots at this. Summer with some tough contact. Summer on the takeaway. Walter, maybe one chance in the final ticks to launch it. Walter, not going to put it up. And we're going to have to play one more, folks. We're going to go to overtime for this one. But no matter what happens, this 2026 season does not come to an end today. Fort Wayne has forced overtime. They've played an overtime match with Chicago last season in the regular season. That was also here from the CCC. And so they know what this is like. They've been in this position before. Oh, we will take the briefest of breaks, and we'll be right back with you for this overtime period coming up in a moment. It's 10 minutes, and it's golden goal, and let's sort it all out for today. But remember, we're gonna be back with one more match on Saturday the 21st. All right, folks, you've seen it up on your screen. Regulation, over with. Forget that. But the 2026 season, not over by any stretch for Fort Wayne's Summit City Sentinels. New Jersey still sitting at home thinking, man, if Chicago took care of business, if they got one go ahead there, this would be over and we'd be in and we'd be booking all of our flights for Las Vegas. Not so fast yet, says Fort Wayne. Still, they can only get the 2 points. So you'd need at least 2 points more in order for them to take that lead and jump in over New Jersey. However, that's all well and good. You can't worry about it. You can just finish this strong, this 10 minutes, the best you're possibly capable of. 10 minutes, golden goal. That means a score, and we're out of here. $34 shots to 21 on the Chicago side. The last equalizer, unreal. Larson from Kelly Flores with the 6 attackers on after the Weisman from Swigard score had just put Fort Wayne up. Shannon Walter on that stripe, ready to kick it right off. And let's have at least 10 more minutes. If you go all the way through this period and nobody scores, then we finally go to best of 3 shootouts. Valerie Battisti this is fascinating. We just realized they're starting Battisti out there, and so they pull the goalkeeper Mercado once more. Nunez looking to put it to bed for now, but again, we already know that there's going to be one more match for the season. The one thing that would change is Fort Wayne would then need a regulation win to get in over New Jersey for that second spot in the East and head to Las Vegas, that finals weekend, March 28th and 29th. It's coming up much quicker than you know, and these teams will already have to meet one more time to sort out who's going. Battisti, here she comes. Battisti blocked off of Summer. Right off of the forehead, it looked like. 9 minutes and 11 seconds still to play in the overtime period. Walter restart. Nunez blocked. Moj Tahiti. Moj Tahiti has made so many amazing strides this season as a defensive player. Already knew she was one of the top scorers around here. Larson back for Flores. Once more, Valerie Battisti donning that yellow penny. The keeper, Joanna Mercado, not on the pitch right now. That's kind of tipping Chicago's hands that, hey, we're taking this home run swing. We either win it or we lose it here. Moj Tahiti, we thought maybe she'd have a chance to launch the empty netter. Reyes gets a piece here for Fort Wayne. Sentinel side knows that it gets a little bit easier what they've got to do if and only if they are able to get the overtime win. That would be 2 points. If you get an overtime or shootout loss, it's only 1. They could then get into the postseason with 2 more points from another OT win, or obviously the 3 points from a regulation win. 8 minutes, 18 seconds still to play. What's going to feel like hours, no matter how this match sorts out. It's going to be agonizing. Will it be Stephanie Nunez to close the door for Chicago? Will it be Shannon Walter? Will it be this home side pick anybody that you want on this pitch right now? Lena Thomas, Natalia Lima not out there right now. Eliana Summer making more of a transition between the midfield and defense than we thought we'd see, but scored a huge power play goal early in this one. Take your pick. It's as good as ours. Flores. Flores working on Lena Thomas, the on-ball defender. She's got some great handles. Out deep to Walter. Walter back for Flores. There's so many all-time leaders out here on this pitch and so many award winners. Moj Tahiti was a first-team All-WMLIS forward last year. Nunez, of course, first team in the midfield. Shannon Walter, the Playmaker Award for most assists last season. You name it. Just huge numbers for everybody. And 2 inaugural clubs last season that met in the final and played perhaps the best match that this league has ever seen to this point, and also played an overtime match in the regular season last year. I don't know what more you could ask for from the rivalry. Nunez blocked off of Reyes once more. Nunez will get it back. Nunez to feed Walter. Walter, little push on Stoltzfus. That's not whistled. Nunez is whacked too, and then Collins goes way too high, and oh no, Nunez is down. Reyes is going to give her a brief moment, help her up, offers the hand, but I think Stephanie says, I'm all right. That's your defending most valuable player. She just wore one, and she's still kind of smarting from it. 6 minutes, 44 seconds to play. Carmen Swigard still battling. The goalkeeper giving her heart, soul, her body, everything to this match and this team and this season and last season and the inaugural final, you name it. Flores just wide, and Walter on the follow, no dice. Then rolled softly from Larson. Larson's got herself a hat trick. Her first 3 goals on the season, she's picked really unbelievable times to get them, has the most recent equalizer for Chicago. Weisman on the press. Oh, and now Ortega pressing still, as that was really awkward. Weisman and Battisti were tied up, but they're just intentionally, or unintentionally rather, tripping over each other. Stoltzfus, good recovery speed here to force Walter to slow it down a little. Fort Wayne gets a change on. They're bringing on Natalia Lima. Maybe Lima looking to close this one out with her own score. Larson kind of whiffs here. Permanent, her touch not quite connecting with Natalia Lima in order to build from the back like Fort Wayne would like. We're almost halfway through the OT. No score. Remember, it's still golden goal. Flores, little wide. Shot blocked from St. June Hornewer. Hornewer always identifiable by that white headband. Lima is kind of getting held, and I think a number on the Fort Wayne side were upset about that too. This is put out off of Nichols. Lima just didn't get that foul called against Flores and maybe let that get in her head a tiny bit. So defensive clearance we saw on Nichols, and then finally timeout was called. Lima's going to go and argue her case a little bit, but I don't think our referee there, James Lowe, is, pardon us, Craig Lowe, is entirely interested in hearing it. They take the timeout. Gonna hope this is the last timeout, folks. Don't know if our little hearts can take a whole lot more. 5 minutes and 9 seconds to play here from the Classic City Center. With so much on the line, you're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Once more back out of the timeout. Each one more agonizing than the last. Tanner White, so glad to be with you. How many times have I said that this season? Frankly, we're not done saying it yet, so don't you worry. We come to you live from the Classic City Center here in Waterloo, Indiana. Overtime between the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels and the Chicago Mustangs. After a defensive clearance off of Ali Rodas Nichols for Fort Wayne, the Mustangs set up another devastating set play. Nunez, Walter, Hornewer, they all collide, and they give it up. Probably not how they drew that one up for what it's worth. I've always asked, say, hey, do they just kind of draw these up in the sand? Sometimes the answer just appears to clearly be yes. It's still a golden goal OT. The first score. Should we get one in this overtime period, we'll end it. Too far, too high. Restart coming. The corner. Walter. Shannon Walter in for Flores. Rejected! Match on the line with each and every one of those kind of tries. Flores, another, trying to put it down. Look at Lena Thomas. Thomas trying to hit that full speed. That ball hit our on-field referee there, Casey Gregory. Remember, still no goalkeeper in there. Chicago's been told, or they've told us, rather, that they're going 6 attackers all the way. Flores. Walter now surveying options once more, and Valerie Battisti comes up. Veterans, all of them on the Chicago side. Practically, Kelly Flores, a newcomer, has leapt off the sheet. But Kelly Collins, Sangjun Horneuer, Stephanie Nunez, Shannon Walter, Val Battisti, they all know what it's like to win a championship. All on that undefeated championship squad last season that took down Fort Wayne in a contest that at times felt a lot like this. The final score of that one, what do you think? 8-7. Chills, folks. Reyes hits the deck. She does lob it ahead. Stoltzfus got some room. Val Battisti unfazed. Horneuer. Back for Battisti. You do get the privileges of a goalkeeper, so you can use your hands when you are that sixth attacker player as Battisti dons that penny. Nunez. Cut off. Great vision for Rodas Nichols. See if she'll unload one with the empty netter. Rodas Nichols to call game saved for Battisti. Puts it on target. That's all you can ask for when you got one good-looking solo run like that. Walter coming back down the other way. Blocked off of Layla Mojtahedi. Restart once more will come from the corner with under 3 minutes to play. Shannon Walter in for Collins. Collins is going to say, hey, somebody defensively got a piece of that. Fort Wayne's going to argue, of course, the other way. Our officials are saying, yeah, we think it did get a defensive player. Heavyweight bout. Feeling like a championship bout already before we even get to Las Vegas. Collins cutting off Stoltzfus with the body. Goes just a little bit further out for Flores. Shot, save for Swigard. Valerie Battisti has only been called on once to make a save and did so. 2 minutes and 18 seconds to play. Walter got some room, chipped over the head for Swigard, and Walter I think is going to be a little bit frustrated in herself. Folks, we're going to go to shootouts if there's no score in this one in regulation. You would get 5 seconds for each shootout attempt from the moment that whistle blows for your free run up. And then just the shooter and the keeper. Under 2 minutes. For what it's worth, in the rulebook, the referees should toss a coin to decide the goal at which the shootout attempts are taken. The team that wins that toss decides. Shot high, Flores. Flores will line up another, now go over to her right. Larson's been the hero so far. Collins saves Swigard, the follow! She comes up empty. Kelly Collins had one more chance to shut the door. She had the game-winning goal in last year's inaugural WMLIS final. Not to be this time, not to be today, not yet. 1:10, that's 70 ticks to play. Overtime just might not be enough. Flores smacked it wide. Hannah Larson will have to go and chase this for a while. Now goes back for Val Battisti. Battisti will come out, and Joanna Mercado will come in. If it should go to shootouts, Fort Wayne might have the run on. Oh, Ortega tried to head it to Mojtahedi and get a shot off. They didn't do it yet. Mojtahedi will still try and win this. One takeaway could mean ball game on either side. Collins to feed Walter. Summer saw it, snuffed it out. Collins, shot, saved! Carmen Swigard! Hermanen with under 20 seconds. Hermanen bumped, had to step over the defender that slowed her down, and now it's sent down the other way. And Chicago's saying, hey, we kind of need an injury timeout. They're not going to get it. Oh, until maybe 3 seconds. We got 2.5 seconds to play for regulation. Oh my goodness. And oh no, 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 no. Battisti is gonna go over and check. We're still looking at who's down, but it's an unnerving sound we're hearing coming from over there. Oh boy, everybody just take a breath, folks. We're sorry to interrupt like this. Is it America Navarro? Is it Kaylee Kowal? We're still not 100% certain. We just got to take it to the injury timeout, and we'll be back with 2.5 seconds to play for overtime. All right, folks, we might have just set another record in this one. We believe that may have been one of the longest injury stoppages that we've ever seen. It's Kelly Flores who eventually came off. The cries and displays of pain that we've seen, it's rare, and it's really shaken everybody in their own different ways, and everybody always reacts a little bit differently. The unfortunate part is we do have to resume this game. There's 2.5 seconds left in overtime between these two, so essentially it's been decided that we're going to a shootout. We cannot do anything but hope for the absolute best for Flores. She has a whole waiting party on deck. And in fact, we've got an MLIS X game following this one that is going to need to wait a little bit longer because we're going to have to, again, in all likelihood, go to a shootout here, barring something a little bit miraculous. Granted, Chicago's pulled, so many rabbits out of so many different hats before, but looks like with 2.5 seconds that shootouts will be the thing to do. It'll be best of 5, alternating. Shannon Walter ready on restart. Hermanen is her on-ball defender. Walter on restart just goes back one time for the keeper, Joanna Mercado. And so we knew that that was going to take us all the way through overtime. This is one more little wrinkle to history as our teams will break for a moment. They'll take the briefest of breaths. We're going to stick right here with you through the break, of course. Once more, Kelly Flores is very much out of this ball game, and we just never quite heard something like that. Unnerving. But that's going to be, at everybody's front of mind, and everyone's thoughts and prayers are going to go out to Flores as she will depart. Best of 5 shootouts coming to decide this match. Again, we already know that we're playing another one. The only thing the Fort Wayne side can do is make it a little bit easier for themselves later on to get to Las Vegas, requiring just an overtime win next week Saturday as opposed to a regulation win. That's what you have to risk between the win or the loss here in the shootout on the Fort Wayne side. 2 points to the winner of this shootout, 1 point to the loser. Kim Ortega also appears unavailable for Fort Wayne. Ortega's been nursing a foot injury for the last several minutes over on the bench. We wonder if that may have happened all the way even in overtime, because we didn't notice it in the fourth quarter. But now Ortega's got one shoe off, and she's been icing it and trying to give it a go, and I just don't know that Ortega will be available. Weisman, the captain, is going to meet with Shannon Walter, and our referees are going to flip. Coin flip comes to see who will take, rather not who will take the shootout first, however, but which goal they will attack. Pardon us, we've misspoken. Best of 3 on the shootouts. I think we've said best of 5 first. Hopefully our referees got it all cleared up. Best of 3s to decide it. And then after that, you have sudden victory shootouts, if we don't have a winner between that best of 3 already. Carmen Swigard, Joanna Mercado, head-to-head. Somebody's going to win it on the shootouts in just a moment. Swigard taking one good moment for a laugh with our on-field official there, Craig Lowe. That's a good sign. As relaxed as you can be, because your damage is already done and you've already forced that final game. Saturday, March 21st at Fort Wayne's own Plex North. 8 a.m. kickoff scheduled for now. See if any of those details might change, so we don't want to finalize it and say that's absolutely what's going to happen. Swigard in the pink kit, Joanna Mercado in the light blue. 1 versus 0. Chicago versus Fort Wayne, same old story. The very first shootout attempt, like you might guess, Stephanie Nunez for the Chicago Mustangs. What else is new? all the way through overtime. 70 minutes just wasn't enough. So we got to go to the best of threes. Swigard with an unreal 33 saves already on her ledger for the all-time record. Nunez first try against Swigard, missed it! Nunez pulled it left. Swigard never backed down. Never has, never will. 0 for 1 for Chicago. Layla Mojtahedi up first for Fort Wayne. You wonder, one suspects probably that Lena Thomas is next. It looks as if that's how they've lined up. Mojtahedi and Joanna Mercado. Carmen Swigard setting the all-time record for single game saves. Mojtahedi held on with the patience. She scored! Back corner! Fort Wayne's up now. And so, Swigard makes a stop. Fort Wayne gets a score. This is over. This is now Kaylee Kowal, the next with a chance against your defending goalkeeper of the year, Carmen Swigard. Kowal, has she found her zen? Swigard will always challenge. Shot scored by Kowal! 1-1. But remember, Fort Wayne still with that lead. That's the second Chicago try. They're now 1 for 2. It is Lena Thomas, and it looks like to polish it off, the third shooter for Fort Wayne, maybe Ariana Stoltzfus. Lena Thomas, this club's leading scorer on the season, coming in. Thomas and Mercado. She's stuffed! And then with the 5-second timer as it expires, she doesn't get another try. Oh boy, so each club's 1 for 2. And is it gonna be Shannon Walter? Oh, it hurts. It's a visceral pain that we're going through to just hang in this right now. There's only so much more energy that anybody can expend out on this pitch, and Walter's got one more chance. Walter to put Chicago up on the shootouts. Wouldn't end it though. Walter! Bang! Up over the right knee of Swigard, outstretched. Shannon Walter could win it for Chicago, but Mercado defends this Ariana Stoltzfus try to extend it. It would then be sudden death. Next PK scorer wins. Stoltzfus, lots of handles, nutmeg, golazo! Fine, we'll just keep doing this and maybe it'll never end. Kelly Collins and Carmen Swigard, we're in sudden death now. Does everybody know it? On both sides, you wonder. Tough to say. We've gone through the whole best of 3. Now Collins could decide it. Or will it be one more Fort Wayne try? Stuffed by Swigard, the follow, she scores! Now wait a minute. Now are they telling us that they're doing a full best of 5? Swigard is clearly limping off a little bit this time. Wow, they're going full best of 5 on us. Best of 3 in our rule book, but we're still going here. It's 3-2 lead then for Chicago. Natalia Lima at the stripe now for Fort Wayne. Well, you got to get it here. Lima shaken, bake to the right. She missed it wide. And so the best of 5 is now decided. And Fort Wayne will need one more regulation win, but this 2026 season does not come to an end here. You can already hear Swigard saying, hey, that's a shootout. She said, whatever. That's exactly the kind of attitude that you got to have for Fort Wayne. Whatever happened in this one besides we extended the season, doesn't matter. Forget about it. 3-2, Chicago will take the win here on the shootout, the PKs, they finally all racked up. And Fort Wayne came up one short in it. But they do get the point. Season's not over yet, folks. There you go. 7-7 through a full 4 quarters and a full OT period. And then in the shootout, those Chicago Mustangs, they still have never lost, but this is officially as far as they've ever been pushed. And every single time they get pushed, it's by who else but this club in the black and the purple. We'll run through the scoring summary real quick as we take a deep breath, exhale, and start to figure out what this all means, folks. Scoring summary goes like this. Stephanie Nunez opened this game up at 6:31 in the first quarter from Kelly Flores. That's your defending MVP. You expect that. The 2-goal runs, then, there would be a bunch of them. Eliana Summer and Vivian Permanent, that Permanent score assisted by Swigard, the keeper. And Fort Wayne, you're feeling all right there at 2-1. Chicago gets it back to a 3-2 game. Kelly Flores twice. Flores at 11:07 and 5:45 the second quarter. Natalia Lima had a buzzer beater of sorts for that second quarter with 43 seconds left. Lima from Permanent. Hannah Larson was getting loose as she put together a second half hat trick. Larson getting that first one at 12:32 of the third quarter. Natalia Lima would get an unassisted, unbelievable solo score at 7:01. Vivian Permanent adding another huge one for Fort Wayne. Those were the back-to-backs. 5:18 of the third quarter. Permanent scored. Larson and Collins got 2 more for Chicago, and Weisman twice for Fort Wayne answered at 9:29 and then 2:37. Larson with the final equalizer of the regulation at 2:29, just 8 seconds after that Weisman score, once more assisted from Swigard. The one card was Sangjun Hornewer, and the shootouts, the winning shootout score goes to Kelly Collins of the Chicago Mustangs. That is all we've got, folks, from the Classic City Center for the final time this season with Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. We got to thank everybody around here. This club has undergone so much adversity, and they've seen an ownership change mid-season, and they've just seen unreal one-goal matches in so many different ways, and things have just been absurd. But there's still one more to play. Fort Wayne will not yet know whether or not they're going to the postseason. Neither will New Jersey on the top or in that second spot in the Eastern Conference. New Jersey's still going to have to wait on the result of this match, and again, we know that eventually, once this 2 seed in the East is decided, they will play the 1 seed in the West, Salt Lake City's own Utah Uprising FC. All the thank yous, folks. Thank you again to our fabulous one-man production crew, Mr. Paul Johnson, to our venue, the Classic City Center, to both teams, to everyone throughout Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. It truly takes an army. And to all of you fine people at home, whether you've tuned in for a few minutes or every single moment, it has been a tremendous pleasure to come to you live from Classic City Center this season. I'm Tanner White, and you've been watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV.